I'm Mike Hatcher.
Hey folks, it's Ernie Pack.
I am Natalie Jones.
What's up everybody, my name's Matt Warner.
Hey, I'm G-Man. You know what, I'm George Shoplin, I'm anybody you want me to be, but you know what, there's one thing I am. I'm part of the para movement. That's right, feeling. Oh, feeling.
My name is Melody Knapp, and I am part of the para movement.
It's April, the Psychic Housewife from New Jersey, and I am part of the para movement.
Hashtag the para movement.
And I am part of the para movement.
And I'm part of the para movement.
I'm Sophia Tambrelli, and I'm part of the para movement.
Just wanted to talk real quick about the para movement that's going on in the world. It's all about para unity. It's about para family. It's about diversity like you'll see nowhere else. In the paranormal community, we got folks of all races, religions, sexual orientations, political beliefs, you name it. And we're spreading positivity, good vibes everywhere. So, hashtag the para movement. Join it, be a part of it, and everybody have a great day. Take care.
Why did you let him kill me? It was the clown.
You're listening to Animal Paranormal Live, where we talk about all things paranormal. And now, here's your host, the Animal.
Are you ready?
Hey, what's up? We did it. It's Friday. We are live. You're on Animal Paranormal Live. I am your host, the Animal. It has been a long freaking week here, Been so crazy and busy, and I feel like, I've been so excited about this Friday. I have an amazing guest here. She has been on my show before when I had a whole bunch of people on, but I'm excited we get to have a one-on-one conversation. I'm just going to bring her up right now, Sophia Tambrelli.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, man, it's just been so busy. It's just been a crazy week, and it seems like it gets crazier and crazier with everything going on in this world. It's like it doesn't stop.
Yeah, definitely. I get what you mean.
But yeah, I'm excited to have you on. I've been waiting for this. We've had you on our schedule for a very long time, and it finally came, and I'm stoked because I've heard about some stuff like you've chilled with Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, I was on Ghost Adventures. That was one of I don't know how to explain it. It was just one of the best moments I've had in the paranormal. Just seeing the way they work and all the cool tech that they have. We got so much cool evidence that night, and it was on the Queen Mary, which just makes it even cooler. I live super close to there, so it's kind of like a home base almost of locations. So it was a great night.
That's awesome. Before we go back into that, I want to get to know you personally, because I really feel like you have a lot to say. You have a lot going on in your life. I'm sure you're busy. I know you have your own radio show too, podcast. But tell me a little bit about yourself. How did this whole paranormal life come about?
Well, I am 21 years old. I live in California, and I've been a paranormal investigator since I was 8 years old. Um, Hi from Ireland, by the way. I saw that
That's
comment.
awesome.
So yeah, it's just I started at 8. My parents went on a paranormal tour on the Queen Mary, and with a psychic named Peter James. He used to be on a show called Sightings, and so when my parents were dating back in the 90s, they used to watch X-Files and
Love
Sightings.
that show.
So yeah, that's what they said was their date night. Obviously, I wasn't alive, so I don't know, but they loved Sightings. So my mom was trying to figure out what to do for their 10-year wedding anniversary, and she was trying to look for something. My parents aren't the most conventional people, so they were trying to look for like not the normal thing, not like like a steak dinner. She was like, let's look for something paranormal. So she found out about the ghost tour on the Queen Mary, and she called my dad in, and she goes, John, look, Peter's hosting a tour there. And so then my parents went on a tour for their 10-year anniversary, and I was like, I want to go. I was like, why couldn't I go? And so for some reason, I just got really jealous. Little kids just think of things like Scooby-Doo or Halloween. So I still don't really know why I got jealous. But my parents asked Peter, they said, hey, can Sophia go on this? Is this safe for her? Is that okay? And he said, every one of the spirits on the ship are my friends. So they took me a month later, which ended up being his final tour before he died. And I fell in love with the paranormal, and I've been in it ever since. And then when I was about the age of 9 years old, I discovered my house was haunted. So I also lived.
The house you're in right now?
No, thank God. Yeah, I love doing paranormal investigations. I love being in the paranormal, but when you live in a haunted house, it's completely different. And it's not something I would have wanted to experience, and it's not something I ever want to experience again. Because I was 9 years old, and I was basically stalked by the ghost every single day. And that, that's traumatic for a young girl. So
yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that feeling because my daughter, both of them, they go through the same thing because our house is haunted. It's very active on a daily basis, and it can be traumatic because not this house. Well, both of my houses were haunted. The one before this one, and she would actually draw pictures of what it actually looked like. So it was just it could be very traumatizing. I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for when I first told my parents, I was like, my dad grew up in the house. Then when he was 9, he moved out. And my grandfather lived there until he died. Now, this spirit was not my grandfather. My parents moved in after my grandfather died, and that was before I was born. And then I think I had experiences from before time I could remember, because my parents said I would stand in the laundry room and just stare, frozen, and my mom was the only one that could get me to move by actually touching my arm. And so I don't remember any of this, but I think that's probably when it started. And then when I was about 9 years old, I had been in the paranormal at this point for about a year or so. So I kind of knew what was going on, but I just felt like I was being watched. It felt like the walls were covered with eyes. I could not escape that feeling. And then one day I saw a man in my mom's closet. He had white t-shirt, blue jeans, brown hair. I saw him, and I told my mom, I go, there's a man in your closet. And she didn't want to tell me I was wrong because I've never lied to them. So she knew, this is what I was experiencing. But since they hadn't had any experiences and I had lived there my whole life, they didn't know what to think. My dad had just written a book for Peter James. So he straight up said, I think this is your imagination. You're young. This is probably just because we're in the paranormal. And then one day my mom was putting on her makeup and she heard 3 knocks from the inside of her closet door.
Wow.
And at that point she knew, okay, our house is really haunted. So she grabbed an EVP recorder and caught voices on it. And besides that, the dog could see it, my pug. She's since passed on, but she would bark violently into the hall where he was in my parents' bedroom. And the ghost would kind of stay in the back of the house, but he would basically stalk me wherever I went. And in my bedroom, I had 2 diamond doves. And whenever he would go in there, they would hit off the sides of the cages, just freaking out. So, when you have audio confirming this, you have me seeing it, the animals freaking out, you kind of know something's there. We had psychics come in, they confirmed it. My mom, at one point before we knew it was haunted, she actually had a piece of metal thrown at her back from 6 feet away, and my dad actually saw it fly off the shelf and hit her square in the back.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it was
crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, but I mean, even with an interest in the field, when you go through something like that, I mean, there's really no going back, because even if I said, hey, like, I don't want to be an investigator, those memories will always stay with me.
Oh yeah, it'll be with you forever. Just stuff like that, because stuff like that just doesn't happen like fly off a shelf.
Yeah, luckily I wasn't there that night. I was with my aunt, but you know, when you go through something like that and you just are constantly being watched, and you have he would watch me sleep. Those memories just really stay with you regardless of what you do in life. So, I mean, luckily I love the paranormal, and I just have to take those and use them as a learning experience, and hopefully, you know, get the word out there about home hauntings. And it's okay if you're going through this, because there are other people who've had these experiences.
Yeah. Wow. Sherry has a question for you. Did Sophia ever figure out who the spirit of the man was in her home?
No. So the house was built in 1940s. My dad was adopted, but my grandfather, he was a paranoid schizophrenic. So when my dad was 9, he had to move out of the house. And during the time that my grandfather lived there, I think this was probably the late 70s and then all throughout the 80s, the county did not take good care of mentally ill patients. He wasn't really a patient, but mentally ill wards of the county. So he died with no electricity, no running water. He died laying on a floor with nothing. So during that time, homeless people could come in and out of the house. Anyone who really wanted to go in there could have. So there is like numerous amounts of things that could have happened in that house that we would have no record of or idea. So, you know, with that length of time, I don't know who it could have been. I don't know if it was a residual spirit. I don't know if someone died there and no one ever found out. It's really hard to say, just knowing that my grandfather couldn't have done anything if someone was in the house, and no one was checking on him to make sure that no one was in the house.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. What an experience.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll ever really find out who was in the house. I know that the psychic who came in said that my grandfather was there, but he was more confused than anything, and he definitely was not the spirit watching me.
Wow. And guys, folks, if you have any questions for Sophia, please ask. She's an amazing person, so she'd definitely love to answer. We do have a question from Natalie Jones. My good friend Natalie. What was Sophia's most memorable experience with Ghost tongue twister. With Ghost Adventures crew.
Hey Natalie. Well, basically the whole experience was memorable. I was literally, the day we filmed was on the very last day of my freshman year of high school. So I basically left school, and then I had to go find clothes. So I went and did that, and then we went and filmed on the Queen Mary. This was all really thanks to Debbie Constantino. She was my mom's best friend. So when they went to the Queen Mary, she goes, "You guys have to have the Temporellis. They've investigated here so many times." So all of it was super cool. But I would say the coolest thing that happened, and they didn't play this on TV because I think of censorship, but we got really clear EVPs, a very thick man's voice, and he was not happy. He was cursing at everyone. So I don't think they could play it for that reason, but it was pretty crazy. There's a man in the pool area. I call him the Shadow Man. And so that could have been him. But at one point, I saw the Shadow Man on the second store balcony to the right-hand side. And then right at that moment, when I knew the Shadow Man was there, Zach got rushed by a spirit. And my mom actually heard footsteps running at him. That was also edited out of the episode, but that was pretty crazy to kind of have that confirmation.
Wow. I don't know if you know Brandon Elvis, but he was on the Queen Mary, and he showed me some very, very compelling evidence of just a shadow just freaking coming out the doorway. Like, it was pretty freaking cool.
That's an amazing video. Brandon's such a great guy. Yeah, it's just crazy. That pool area is so active. I don't even know what to say about it. I can't even believe there was ever a time where it was not creepy, honestly.
How many times have you been on the Queen Mary? Have you been there quite a few times,
Oh
or?
yeah, I would say over 100.
Oh
I
wow,
mean, yeah, I ever since I was little, my parents would take me on the Ghosts and Legends tour there, which is not a real ghost tour, but I for some reason thought it was really fun and funny to go on with all the scary sound effects. And so I went from all the time I was little. I've had a high school field trip there. I went to a formal dance there. So I've been there for non-paranormal reasons, paranormal reasons, to hang out with my friends. So I've been there probably over 100 times.
that's one place I do want to go to. There's so many places I want to go to,
Mhm.
but that's like one of my top. Right? Oh, other than Alcatraz and Dracula's Castle, but yeah, it seems like a really cool place where a lot of evidence, a lot of people just get so much amazing evidence there. And heck, hopefully all of us could go there sometime again. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I would love to do that. If you're ever down this way, let me know. I was super lucky that I was able to be a part of the Dark Zones event there recently.
Oh
That
wow,
was a lot of fun too.
that's pretty cool. So what other locations have you been to? Like what other
Mhm.
great locations?
So I've been to undisclosed locations. I've been to La Prisma Mission. I've been to Tombstone. I've been to the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California. My parents spent the night on Alcatraz. They didn't take me, so
Oh,
can't really have that one on my list.
no.
I've investigated universities around here that have Native American burial grounds. So quite a few places, but it's like been spread out over 10 years. So, well, 13 years. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to remember, but the big places are like the Glen Tavern Inn, La Prisma Mission, places like that.
Wow. What has been the most traumatic experiences at a location?
Definitely just living in a haunted house. Because like the most traumatic experience I would say was so I had a loft bed and I also had a couch bed in my room, and being like 9, I was like, oh, couch bed, so cool, so fun, I'll sleep on that for some reason. um and one day my mom had to clean the sheets on it because I was sleeping on it for like 2 months for some reason. And so I slept on my loft bed and I saw the man in my house standing in my doorway, and I thought, oh my God, I'm safe up here. He can't see me. Because the loft bed was very tall to the ceiling. So I was like, finally, I have a place where I'm safe. And one night I was going to bed and the man had climbed my loft bed ladder and was watching me sleep from this far away. And I really don't know how I fell asleep that night, but I did, and I hadn't told my mom for a few days. And when the psychics came to our house, I said, Mom, I have to tell you something. And she goes, not right now, we have company. So I told her friend, I said, that ghost in our house was watching me sleep. And so my mom didn't know this, the psychics didn't know this. The only person who knew was my mom's friend. And she pulled my mom aside and goes, you have to hear what Sophia told me. And right after my mom just found out, the psychics walked by my room and said, there's a man on that off bed ladder.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. That's that. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
blown away.
Yeah, it's really creepy, especially when no one has any idea that this happened to you and they can walk by and know that he was there, is there.
Yeah, it's just amazing just to see stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
what happened to my wife the other day is she locked the door. She usually locks the door every time she opens and shuts it. And she walked away. Since she walked away, the freaking deadbolt unlocked
Oh,
and
wow.
the door swung open. And then right after that happened, in my kids' room, something flew off my daughter's table and went across the room and hit the wall and broken a bunch of pieces. So
Yeah.
it's just so crazy how something like that, a spirit or whatever it is, could do something like
Mm-hmm.
that. It just blows my mind. I mean, I've never been scratched or something like that. I don't know if you've ever had that experience or been pushed or something like that. Have you had like something like that happen to you?
No, I haven't, but I was actually just talking to Mustafa Gadalari on my show today, and I was telling him I'm actually pretty accident prone in real life. So if a ghost did scratch me, really would know, I would blame myself for it and say, what did I do? So it honestly could have happened to me. I would have no clue.
Oh man, yeah. I won't find something happen to me unless if it's like an hour later.
Yeah, like I'll get random bruises for me hitting something, and I'll be like, "Wow, that's really dark. I should have felt that. When did that happen?" Literally, I have one right now.
Did I like really freaking hit a wall or something?
Yeah, I'm just like, if a ghost tripped me, I'd be like, "Whoa, what did I just trip on?" I would no idea. Wouldn't correlate it to the paranormal.
Awesome. So tell me about your show. I'm really interested learning about like how that came on and how'd you start your show and what are you guys doing now? Like who's your guests and who have you had on your show?
Well, my show is called The Ghost Host on myparanormal.com. I started it when I was 12 years old. I really started, yeah, so 9 years now I've had my show. And it's every Saturday. Today we had on Mustafa Gadalari from Ghost Hunters.
I'll be seeing him soon on the 12th.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy. I met him at the Glen Tavern Inn at Brandon's event. He's a lot of fun. But I started it because, I started in the field when I was 8 and I had these experiences in my haunted house and I was like, okay, there has to be other people my age who've had these experiences. And there really wasn't in the field. So I found that out quickly. But I started my show to kind of connect with people my age. But I've since had so many great guests on and learned so much knowledge that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I've had on Debbie Constantino from Ghost Adventures, Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures. I've had the Ghost Brothers on, Dakota Layton from Destination Fear, Steve Gonsalves from Ghost Nation, Katrina Weidman from Portals to Hell. I've had quite a few people on. I've had the scientist from Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt. That's the one place I would love to go and investigate and just see what the heck is going on over there.
Yeah, Dr. Travis Taylor from Skinwalker Ranch. He, I don't think, fully has a concept of what's going on there either, but it's such an interesting location. I mean, how could you without like extensive research? Dave Schrader, Cindy Keza, Shane Pittman from the Holzer Files.
That's awesome.
I've had the Booth Brothers on. I've had April, Psychic April on.
She's somewhere out there.
Yeah, so I've had tons of people over my 9 years. Alexander Holzer was my very first guest. Upcoming, I will have Jojo Wright from Kiss FM. He also has a paranormal podcast. Chris Starr from Ghost Loop. So yeah, it's been an incredible 9 years and just so many people.
Dang. Yeah, I'm very. I've had a couple of the guests that you guys have, like Nick Groff, amazing guy. Worked with them, very cool, and so many other cool guests that you. It's just really cool that you get to have that experience with them.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great hearing their stories, getting to meet them. So yeah, I met April through having her on my show, and she's amazing. So April, if you're listening, hey. But it's great being able to meet people like her through my show. I think that's the biggest thing I've taken away from it is just all the amazing people in the field that I've gotten to connect with.
Yeah, no, April's awesome. She likes to yell at me all the time. Just kidding, April. No, we love you. But yeah, no, she's awesome. We talk all the time. We talk, a whole bunch of us talk, It's just really cool to be able to have that circle, that connection with each other because like the para movement that I show every time before the show, it's just I'm trying to get people to come together and just to show love and compassion because that's what this whole community is about. And I could preach it every single time. I don't care how annoying it gets because we need it. We need that type. We need to show that love out there because there's so much negativity in this world. And it's like every time I see something on the news, I get so angry. And it's like I start twitching and I'm like, what the hell is wrong? Why can't we just all get along? And it's like, what? It's about showing love. That's a secret ingredient. It's showing love to people and compassion. And like April said, like Hey, April. Hey, hashtag the para movement. You know,
Yeah.
That just speaks words. It's not just about paranormal. It's just about the whole community. It's about reaching out to people, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm so excited that it's hitting people's hearts in a good way, and I'm hoping it'll tackle more and more each and every day. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I started out in the paranormal, my family got a lot of hate, and I get it. I was really young, and this can be a very dangerous field. But when you have someone that has an interest at such a young age and also has the experiences I did in a haunted house, I mean, I think it's better to help educate them, help them with stuff instead of just saying, you have bad parents, you're not doing anything right, you shouldn't be here. Because regardless of me being in the field, I would have had those experiences in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, April.
Sherry asked a question. Hold on, let me see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Does she think at all had psychic abilities or maybe an empath?
I would say I'm a sensitive. I don't think I'm psychic. I can kind of tell if an energy is good or bad. I can tell if something's there. I like to say it's like I think it's a Geico commercial, but if you guys remember the commercials where it's like, oh no, I'm a dental monitor, I can't fix your cavities. Like, I can tell that it's there, but I can't do anything more than that. I'm not like April where like I can go in and like tell you who this person is or pick up more than that. I'd say mostly if I see a ghost, it's a shadow person, which is just kind of creepy. But so I would say it's more just like I'm more like a smoke detector than anything. Not helpful beyond that.
I had to tell April one time she needs to stop getting into my head, but then I gave up.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about the paranormal. I've had so many psychics on my show, and it is I'm pretty used to it because I've been doing this for so long, but it's so weird still. Like when they pick up things that are so accurate. My mom had uterine cancer a few years back, and she's totally fine. It's gone. She's clear. But we had psychic Harvey Althouse. No one in the field had any idea about this besides my family. And he calls my mom up. She just had surgery. And he goes, hey, are you okay? And my mom's like, why are you calling? He goes, I just felt like there was something wrong and I needed to call you. And it's just crazy every time that happens because it's like, wow. I get that you know this stuff, but how do you know this stuff?
Wow, that's crazy. Like with April, like there's times I've talked to her because she knows my house as long as she pick up on stuff just like talking to her on the phone. I'm like, what the heck, you know? And like because I know I haven't told her about these things, but when she tells me, I'm like, yeah, there's a little girl in this house and there's a man. So it's just crazy how just something like that, just a beautiful gift like that people get to be able to solve, you know, help other people in a good way. Because, you know, people want answers. And it's just really cool that April calls it a download. A download.
Yeah, I like for me, I like she has like the 4K like HD connection to the other side, and for me, like since I'm more of like a sensitive than a psychic, I have more of like the Atari version.
That's awesome. So what do you do for a living other than the paranormal?
Well, right now I am taking a film class, but I'm pretty much just solely focused on my show. I love what I do in the field, and it's what I want to do the rest of my life. I love the paranormal, and doing my radio show, getting to meet so many new people has just been everything I could have ever asked for. I couldn't go out and be like a doctor or a scientist. That's way too normal for me.
April said, no, my girl, you're more than sensitive. But that's awesome. So you're taking film school. Are you wanting to be like a director or start filming documentaries or?
Well, I think with my radio show, you know, I love what I do, but I think like with stuff like YouTube, it's great to actually have a visual on the paranormal besides just having audio, because EVPs are great, but shadow people are even cooler if you can see that. So I'm just kind of trying to learn a little bit more just about all of that. I've been doing radio for 9 years, but I'm in no way a professional radio host. Like, I don't know all the technical terms. I don't have a switchboard. It's all done kind of through the internet. So just having like more of a background and a knowledge, I think is great. So I
awesome.
don't say something entirely wrong if I'm referring to something about like a YouTube video or a radio show.
Like my best friend says, I'm the expert of nothing.
Yeah, I'm just like, my friend Johnny, he went to film school, and so it's like I don't want to say something stupid if I'm referring to a YouTube video or cut, because now that I'm older, my dad's done a lot of the show's stuff through the years, editing videos, setting up the shows, booking guests. But now that I'm older, I want to start helping with editing videos and stuff like that. And I just think with a little bit more knowledge on how to do that stuff, I could do it in a better way where people actually enjoy watching it instead of just like, oh God, why did she do that?
That's awesome. Now at an older age, do you still get to hang out with Zach and them and all the crew?
Well, the main person we always hung out with was Debbie. She was my mom's best friend. We met her at an event. Oh gosh, I don't know how many years ago, maybe like 11, 12 years ago. And so we never really hung out with Zach. I met him at a few events. He was always extremely nice. We're good friends with Aaron Goodwin's sister, Amy Goodwin. Super great. She stayed on our couch. I know April really wants to stay on our couch. It's like a paranormal hostel. Debbie used to stay on our couch. So the main person we always hung out with was Debbie. And then she unfortunately passed away due to extremely tragic circumstances. But
sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah, she was amazing.
Wow. Now, one thing I'd like to talk about is my favorite gadgets and toys. What kind of gadgets and toys do you like to use on a paranormal investigation?
Well, I think the SLS cameras are super cool, probably because I'm a gamer. So once you combine Xbox and paranormal, I'm already sold. And then I love the Ghost Radar app. I like that it's very easy to use on my phone. From what I've seen of it, it works really well. I think obelisks are super cool. Millimeters, because they do temperature. I love it all. I think technology is amazing, but I would say those are my top ones. More like if you don't have an obelisk, Ghost Radar. If you do, obelisk, and the SLS camera.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about the ghost apps. I'm kind of like in the middle, not sure like how they really work because I haven't really like used them. So I'm not sure. I know there's so much technology out there right now. It's crazy. Like Brandon said, there's so much stuff that people that like he's learning and stuff. But it's really cool because the science behind it. It's like it seems like they're getting more and more answers behind each technology they use.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really sure about a free app on your phone at first because I don't get technology. I just got a gaming PC. And my friends are having to help me. I am not that technologically advanced.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't get that stuff. Like, I'm young, but I'm good with cell phones, not computers. And so, like, I don't really get how the app works, but I can say that I was at the David Omen house, which is about 500 feet from where the Manson murders took place. I was just hanging out at a party with my friend. We weren't investigating. We were just kind of hanging out. And I set the Ghost Radar down, just trying to see what we got, and I got the word pig on it, which if anyone knows about the Manson murders, that's what the Manson family wrote in blood on the doors.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Which I had never gotten that word before. I've never gotten it since, and it feels a little bit more than a coincidence to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Natalie, have you ever worked with any of the IDC devices built by J.W. Prather?
I don't believe I have. If I have it with someone else's equipment, the equipment we have is like an SP7 spirit box, a millimeter, Ghost Radar, night vision camera. So I don't think I have, but if I did, it would have been with someone else's stuff.
Wow. That's awesome. And again, folks, if you guys have questions for Sophia, please ask. But another question I'd love to ask, that I'd like to ask everybody, I like to turn the tables a little bit with crypto, because I'm a big fan of Bigfoot and chupacabra and all aliens, UFOs, and stuff like that. What's your take on that? Because I like to see everybody's take, because it's very interesting thinking about it. And it's like, I'd love to see a Bigfoot one day, just to freaking hang out with it and just chill. Because
every day I see my dad, I question if I've seen him. But yeah, I'm just like, what woods did you come in from? But
my kids think I'm Bigfoot. So
yeah, so I would say I can't for certain say that it's not real. I can't say if it is real, because if Bigfoot is real, he would have adapted far enough to not be seen by people. I mean, there are tons of animals that have thought to have been extinct for hundreds of years, and then someone will walk into a different wooded area or jungle and be like, oh wow, you were supposed to be extinct 100 years ago, and be able to capture a photo. So there's tons of cases of animals that are just able to hide that well. Chupacabra, I don't know. I can't say for sure. Sometimes I think my dog is one, but that's a different story.
I say the same thing. I wish I had him here. He's a little black dog, but he has a mohawk all the way from his head to his back, and when he growls, it's so hilarious.
Yeah, my pug that saw ghosts when we got her, she had mange and stuff, and she's just an angry little thing. So I'm not really sure about her, but yeah, I can't say for certain that they are or aren't. I lean on the side of anything is possible. Who would have thought ghosts exist until you experience it yourself? So I think that, not every sighting is real, but also there are so many things about this world that we don't understand. Who's to say that they aren't?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I got into a conversation. Who was it? I think it was with Adam Kimmel. I had him on the show yesterday with the paranormal people. We were talking about, is ghosts actually ghosts, or is it somebody from another dimension? Or what is it? Is it actually a spirit? Because I think, honestly, my opinion, it's weird, because it could be multiple things. Some people think it's demons. Some people think it's someone that passed away, or it's just like, it's just something just passing by. It's very mind-boggling of so many theories out there.
Yeah, I came up with my own theory on the afterlife when I was in 8th grade in my religion class. I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 8th grade. And we were talking about purgatory. And I was like, you don't see ghosts from the 1400s. You don't see Viking ghosts. You don't see Neanderthal ghosts. Where do they go? So my theory, which I won't fully know if it's true until I die, but hopefully not soon, is that ghosts are in purgatory, and where they go after that, I really don't know. I haven't made it that far, but it always makes me wonder, why don't we see older ghosts than that?
Yeah, I definitely think so too. Or I've had people tell me they were time travelers. So I don't know. It's just very interesting. There's so much stuff to learn, so many things that, well, I don't think we'll ever figure out. But you know what? It's fun. It's fun to check it out.
Yeah, it's always interesting to kind of figure out the unknown and just see what there is out there in the world and beyond it. I think that's the fascination with aliens, is what more is there out there? Because there are so many different galaxies. You have wormholes, black holes. It's all pretty weird. Like, what else is there?
It's huge, and it goes on and on and on. And hopefully someday, I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime, but someday that we'll figure out how far what other planets are out there and stuff like that. Who knows? We might move to Mars. I don't know. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
I don't know with Elon Musk. It could be any way.
Talk about Elon Musk. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, when he created Tesla and this whole rocket ship, and I saw the astronauts for the first time, you know, lift out. It was like since 2011, I think the last time the rocket lift off. But it's just pretty incredible because it felt like you were in a freaking car with booster rockets behind your rear end and just push you up there. But the astronauts are just sitting there like twiddling their thumbs, not even shaking, just relaxing. I was like, what the hell? He made the Tesla version of a rocket.
Yeah, my mom and I are always like, oh, wow, the astronauts really lucked out because their space suits are all thin now and like cool looking. And I'm just like, well, that's nice.
It's like we're in the future now. And it's like he's talking about flying cars and all that crazy stuff. It's just like we're going to be living in the Jetsons.
Yeah, the progression's amazing. So, I mean, with that, you can only imagine how far the paranormal will go in a few years from now.
Yeah, I think so much is going to happen technology-wise, and I hope someday that we can understand what's going on in this world and how we could communicate with it better. And I think that'd be freaking cool to just have a natural conversation if we ever find it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many things that are out there. I can't even imagine. You know, people think the aliens is little green people, but do they look just like us? Do they not? Do they have 4 fingers like the Simpsons? I don't know.
Come Earthlings.
Is Homer Simpson on a different planet? I don't know. So it's just, there could be Planet of the Apes out there. So many variables, so many possibilities.
Speaking of Elon Musk, do you think we'll find ghosts on Mars?
I don't know. If there's life on Mars, possibly there is ghosts. Most people believe that ghosts are energy, and so there could be, but if there isn't life like us and civilizations, which I don't think they've found yet, then most likely I don't think there would be ghosts.
One thing that's cool, not a lot of people check out, is because I'm a diver, certified scuba diver, and we've been checking the paranormal in the underwater and having some really amazing EVPs and stuff. Just cool phenomenons like near sunken ships and stuff like that. It's just cool. It's just amazing. You know, there's like, I don't even understand why some people haven't even checked the under the water yet. You know, it's just so cool. The stuff, you know, paranormal could be underground, you know, under the water. It could be above. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, I saw Destination Truth like forever ago go and investigate a shipwreck, and I was like, that's strange. And they caught evidence, but for me, it didn't ever even occur to me that ghosts could be there. Which, why couldn't they be there? Land, water. I mean, they can't drown in the afterlife, I don't think, unless it's like reliving your death over and over again. Yeah. So there's so many possibilities, and if shipwrecks are very haunted like locations, so many untapped locations, so many places to investigate, so many spirits that haven't been heard.
Someone said, would you move to Mars?
No, we have In-N-Out on Earth. How could I ever leave that?
I don't know. If they have a Chick-fil-A in Mars, I'll be there in a second. I'm just gonna say.
In-N-Out for me has my whole heart, but then there's Mexican food too, and there's no Mexican restaurants there. It's like a whole thing. Food is too important to me.
Oh gosh, yeah, food. Spicy buffalo chicken wings, I'm there every day. That and Chick-fil-A. I could eat that every day.
Yeah, for me, it's just like tacos any day, all day. Love it.
All right, now I'm hungry. I gotta go. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm excited for what you're doing here. You got a lot of good stuff. Is there anything coming up, like any events coming up for you pretty soon, or that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so like I said earlier in the show, I was a part of the Queen Mary live stream with the Dark Zone. I previously had done the Conjuring Live with them, but this time around they will be having a wrap-up show. So next Friday on Facebook, I believe, I will be a part of the Dark Zone's wrap-up show for the Queen Mary live stream they did, which was 4 full days with access to pretty much the entire ship. I will also be having on Jojo Wright, December 5th, December 12th. I will be having on Chris Starr from Ghost Loop. So yeah, and maybe some other radio shows soon. I'm talking about those kind of in personal messages and stuff. But yeah, it's been amazing just with everything going on, and I was so thankful to be a part of the event, which was so cool that they are able to investigate during quarantine, because who would have ever thought?
Yeah. Yeah, this quarantine has gotten everybody like it's hard to investigate these days. I don't know how it is. You're in California, right?
Yeah, it's hard to investigate in general in California, but just because like most people, it's not like anyone has like an old barn you can go to, or like, you know, the Conjuring House is in Rhode Island, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, I think.
Hometown.
Yeah, so like California is such a long state. There are some places that have that, but where I live, there's really not. So it's very hard to investigate in general. So quarantine only makes that even more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna wonder how California's doing. I know I have a couple of friends up in California, and they said they just got put on, I guess, some kind of, I can't remember what it's called.
Like a lockdown?
Like a lockdown or something like that, because it just got crazy again. So they were kind of bummed out because you couldn't do any investigations. A whole bunch of events just got canceled, and it's happening everywhere. I just hope it doesn't shut down everything. I'm ready to go back out. So many events for next year, amazing events, and exciting people to meet.
Yeah, it's amazing to see what's coming out of the pandemic, though, like with the Dark Zone, but in-person events are great too, just because that human-to-human contact, the investigations. So hopefully those will be able to reopen soon. But if not, at least hopefully everyone is safe and, you know, not getting sick.
Yeah, I just hope everybody has a safe. You know, I would hate to see anybody sick, because it's horrible. I've had some friends personally that caught the COVID, and they said it was not the funnest thing to experience. It's real. People, just please, I'm telling you, be safe, because we care about you, and we love you, and we want what's good for you. So this stuff is real, but that's all I gotta say for my COVID rant.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the most important thing is to stay safe. I live across the street from my 84-year-old grandmother, and she is one of the healthiest people I've ever met in my life. She could probably run a mile faster than me. I mean, this woman is like insanely healthy, but still, I don't want her to catch it. I don't want my mom to catch it. So, you know, just got to keep them in their little protective bubble because I love them.
Yeah. I've got one question I usually ask everybody. Have you ever had an experience? I know I asked you a traumatic, but have you ever had an experience where it kind of almost made you not want to be in the paranormal anymore?
I wouldn't say I've ever had an experience like that. Like I said, with living a haunted house, if anything was going to do that, it would be that experience. I had an experience on the Queen Mary that made me not want to go to a certain part of the Queen Mary with the Shadow Man. He's just really, really intense, but nothing that's ever made me want to leave it.
Oh, that's cool. But what kind of wisdom would you give a new paranormal investigator? Before we leave here, I'd like, I always like to ask my guests, for new investigators coming into this, not knowing what to do at all, what kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would definitely say do your research. Don't go into any places that are abandoned. I know they look cool. I know they're fun, but you don't know who or what's in there. They can be very dangerous. I think a lot of times abandoned locations, since you can access them, usually a lot easier. People tend to go in them, but it's always a risk. You don't know what these buildings are like. They are falling apart. They're abandoned for a reason. So make sure you do your research. Make sure you're not, breaking into someone's house. When you're there, don't try and antagonize a ghost because, like I said, you don't know what's there. So physically or spiritually, you put yourself at a risk. And this is someone that passed on, whether they're angry or not. there's no reason to upset them because it will just make things worse for them and yourself.
Awesome. Well, Sophia, it was an amazing time. Thank you so much. We definitely need to hook up at the Queen Mary. I definitely want to go there sometime. Hopefully, once COVID lifts and stuff like that, we can go investigate.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on today, and hopefully we'll be able to meet soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to talk to you some more about just the stories you told me. It was just so incredible, and I'm just blown away by it. I just love hearing people's stories of how they come to life. It's just you have an amazing story, and just my advice to you is keep telling that story and keep showing people your passion of what you're doing and your excitement, because when people see that, they're going to want more of it. It's like a gateway drug, I would like to say, because like what's that saying, a smile is very man, I'm going very very infectious, if it's contagious. So people want that. So that if any wisdom from the animal, I would just say keep smiling, do what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and you're going to go far, and I really believe that.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me on today, and with the group. That was so much fun. So thank you for everything. I had a great time today, and anytime you have any questions or, I would love to have you on my show in the future, just let me know, and thank you.
Yeah, let's talk once we get off live. Let's definitely talk some more, and we'll hook that up.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, guys, you guys have a blessing weekend and stay safe. Have fun, but don't get in trouble. All right, guys. Love you. Bye. Peace.
Thanks. Bye, guys.